Hello friends, myself is Dr. Rima Sinha. Today I am going to give lecture on very interesting topic, that is your structure activity relationship of antihistaminic agents. In classification we have discussed the antihistaminic drug in three parts: H1 receptor antagonist, H2 receptor antagonist and H3 receptor antagonist. So likewise we have to discuss the SAR classification wise. One is your SAR of H1 receptor antagonist, another we will discuss SAR of H2 receptor antagonist. First I will start from the SAR of H1 receptor antagonist. You see the general structure of H1 receptor antagonist. आपने जितने स्ट्रक्चर receptor antagonist में पढ़ा है सब में आपने बेसिक स्केलेटन नहीं देखा होगा. So here we will discuss the general structure of antihistaminic agent for the study of SAR. This structure we will divide into four parts. One part is your aryl group. Second part is your X, which determines the chemical subclassification of H1 receptor antagonist. Third part is your alkyl side chain, and fourth part is your terminal nitrogen. So take one by one. First we will discuss about aryl group. In skeleton we have seen there is two aryl group. These two aryl group, diaryl group, is essential for antihistaminic activity. You have to remember this point always. Here two aryl group. One aryl group may be aryl, phenyl substituent or heteroaryl group. Another aryl group, it may be secondary aryl group or it may be aryl methyl group. These two aryl groups could not be coplanar. दोनों aryl group का orientation एक plane में नहीं होना चाहिए. It must be required for the antihistaminic antagonistic activity. Now we will shift to X. What should be the nature of X? X determines the chemical stability of H1 receptor antagonist. Also it classifies the H1 receptor antagonist on the basis of the atom. X may be either carbon, nitrogen or oxygen. Suppose it is carbon oxygen, then classification is amino alkyl ether. We have already discussed the classification of H1 receptor antagonist. Suppose X may be carbon nitrogen, it may be ethylene diamine. Suppose X may be carbon carbon, then it carbon carbon there is three propyl groups, so it is propyl amine derivatives. So this is classified the H1 receptor antagonist on the basis of the nature of X. But there is one exception. There is a separate class of antihistaminic active drug which contain tricyclic rings. Here we see the structure of phenothiazine derivative. Here two aromatic ring fused tricyclic derivative. This is a separate class which is exception of X. Now we will move to alkyl side chain. Here we see the number of carbon atoms present in skeletal structure of H1 receptor antagonist. Here we see the structure, carbon number is 2. For optimal activity, there is required minimum carbon number is 2 for H1 receptor antagonistic activity. We have to remember this point because in H2 there is a number of carbon atom will be 4. In H1 number of carbon atom is 2. It can be 3, but if you extend the number of carbon atom beyond the 3, then the activity will be decreased. If you branch this carbon atom, then the activity will be decreased. But exception is here also. Example is phenothiazine derivative. Here you see that यहाँ R है, R में आप देखोगे branching is possible. So this is alkyl side chain. Next is your terminal nitrogen. Terminal nitrogen is very important for binding to H1 receptor. It should be tertiary amines. It could be part of heterocyclic ring. Heterocyclic ring यहाँ पर हो सकता है attached. Heterocyclic nitrogen heterocyclic ring का part हो सकता है. Example you have seen nandazolene and chlorcycline. You see the structure. One I have made here, that is a chlorcycline. You see the nitrogen. This is a part of heterocyclic ring. So tertiary amine is important for, it should be tertiary and it could be a part of heterocyclic amine. So this is all about your SAR of H1 receptor antagonist. Now I will discuss the SAR of H2 receptor antagonist. You see the general structure. So requirement for the SR studies of H2 receptor antagonistic activity. Here we see one is your imidazole ring, one part. Another part is your alkyl side chain, and third is your terminal nitrogen. Just we have seen H1 receptor antagonist. First we will discuss the imidazole ring. This imidazole ring exists in tautomeric form. You see the structure 1 and 2. Now you have to explain which conformation is necessary for antagonistic activity. Here 1 and 2, structure 1 favors the antagonistic activity because this HN group nearer to this alkyl substituent. Here it is far from this. So H2 receptor antagonistic, this structure 1 favors for antihistaminic activity. This imidazole ring is not required, not necessary for H2 receptor antagonistic activity. This can be replaced by furan, thiophene, or it can be replaced by thiazole. Like see the structure of furan. So this can be replaced by thiophene, furan or thiazole. It is not necessary for all the H2 receptor antagonistic drugs contain imidazole ring. Next we will move to alkyl side chain. The difference between this imidazole ring or nitrogen, there should be equivalent of 4 carbon chain length. 4 carbon chain length is optimal requirement for the H2 receptor antagonistic activity. If you extend the chain, or if you branch the chain, activity will be decreased. You have to one point you have to consider, chain must contain 1 electron withdrawing group, and there is 4 carbon chain like this. 1 methylene group can be isostereotically replaced by sulfur ether. We have seen this in the structure of ranitidine. Now we move to terminal nitrogen. These terminal nitrogen should be polar or non-basic substituent for H2 receptor antagonistic activity. So this is all about your SAR, H2 receptor antagonistic. We have discussed the first H1 receptor antagonistic activity and then H2 receptor antagonistic activity. So you have to discuss SAR of antihistaminic activity in two ways, H1 and H2. Thank you friends.